Welcome to the CryptoTwits Podcast. This is all about Jane Street because there's been some crazy shit that's gone down. So, Wall Street Journal came out a couple days ago, and they about Terraform Labs. Terra was the entity that Do Kwon. You have to go back to 2022. 2022, the stablecoin UST collapses, and it brings down not just Terra, but it brings down it's a whole collapse of things. Three Arrows Capital, and then Voyager, Celsius, and everything just went to hell. And that was in the middle of 2022. And then things got kind of quiet. And then in November, FTX collapses as a result of all that stuff going on. It's like, what's the term they like to use? A contagion. There's actually a really good movie with Matt Damon. That's a really good one.
Is that the one with the Contagion? Birds?
No, that's the one. That's with Dennis Hoffman.
Yeah, he's super young in that one.
Yeah, and that's the one with. Oh wait, no, that's with the monkeys. That's
the bird one is the dude with Patrick Dempsey, right?
Yeah.
Grey's Anatomy, McDreamy.
Yeah. He's such a heartthrob. God.
Even with the age, he just keeps looking better. It's that hair. We
dude, what's his name from who plays Ant-Man?
Paul Rudd.
Dude, I think he's an elf. Like Lord of the Rings elf. He never ages.
He has looked the same since 40-Year-Old Virgin. Always the same. Just his hair gets longer.
It's crazy. All right. I'm getting way off topic here. All right. So Todd Snyder, when people are like Terraform Labs is suing, blah, 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 they're like, oh, okay, this is just, and these are just crypto people. No, this is not crypto people. This is the person who's been appointed by the court to figure out the bankruptcy and make everything right. So this guy has really no interest in Terra other than it's his job to do these things. And so apparently there's enough bad stuff that he went after Jane Street. So he named Jane Street Group, the co-founder, and some employees. And essentially, this is the timeline. Actually, I don't know where I should start with this. Yeah, I'll start with the timeline. This is what they claim. In 2018, Jane Street signs a direct trading pact with Terraform Labs as a liquidity market-making partner, which makes sense because that's what Jane Street does. They're market makers. 2021, September, Brian Pratt, a former Terraform Labs intern, joins Jane Street full-time. The suit alleges he created a private backchannel with Terraform's business development lead, described as a backchannel source material, non-public information, which is kind of like what very similar thing happening with the Axiom news that broke today. And then on May 7th, 2022, Terraform secretly withdraws $150 million of the stablecoin UST from Curve Finance as they're a DeFi protocol. They deal mostly with stablecoins. So Curve's a Curve 3 protocol, no announcement. Within 10 minutes, a wallet linked to Jane Street pulls 85 million UST from that pool. And then the suit says that it was Jane Street's largest ever single swap. No public knowledge existed yet. And then, like we were saying earlier, the cascade follows. Three Arrows Capital, Voyager, Celsius, eventually FTX. What's weird about this is Sam Bankman-Fried, he belongs in jail, I think. But also, the losses were almost, relative to anything else, not much. People recovered stuff. The Terra collapse, $40 billion, that's gone. There's probably nothing. Maybe a few $100 million they could get to make some people whole. But I mean, if it wasn't for FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried would be probably just that weird dude still in crypto, but Do Kwon would be the most hated man on the planet. But he's not because of FTX. But he should be because he caused way more damage.
I mean, if they would have just left SBF alone, his investments in Anthropic and everything else that took off, it's almost like once they would have let this stuff go on a little bit longer, he wouldn't be able to pay everybody back using like all the investments of FTX.
That's his argument too.
That's why he shouldn't go for 25 years or whatever it is.
If you would have just let me keep getting away with it, nothing would have happened.
I mean,
imagine if that was like how crimes worked.
Didn't most FTX investors like recoup?
All right, so there was a lot of fuckery that went on. It still pisses me off. So the whole bankruptcy thing. So like the Solana, a huge percentage of Solana was either owned by Sam Bankman-Fried or FTX. And how they did this, like if they would have distributed, and this is still weird to me, they assessed the value of the crypto at the time of the crime, not what it's valued at today. So if you had 100 Solana and it was worth a few months ago, if it was worth like 28 grand or something, you know, I'm way exaggerating here. Somebody's going to say, oh, it was never at that price a few months ago. I'm just making a point, people. Holy shit. I'm getting mad at voices in my head. But the point is that, you know, if you had like 100 Solana, it was worth like 20 grand. Today, they're pricing it at what it was near the bottom of the collapse. So your 100 Solana, you got like a couple $1,000 or something. It's a huge ripoff. Also, they let some large entities buy huge blocks of it that they had relatively short lockup periods, like just a couple years or 3 years. So, yeah, like people who had crypto over there, did they get their money back? Sort of. But this is the thing that's always confused me. Crypto is an asset. That's property. And then they just decide to like price it at some arbitrary point because they think it makes sense to do it. It was wrong. It's still wrong. I don't like it.
So it's like if
they could have made more people whole.
Someone stole a piece of art from you that was worth $1 million 50 years ago, and they're trying to give you $1 million today when really it's like worth $100 million today. Someone stole a Picasso from you. It's like, well, it was worth this back then. It's like, yeah, but now it's worth $100 million.
Yeah, and at that point, if it was something like art, this shit wouldn't stand. This would
They're
not
both
fly.
assets, right?
They are, but you know, it's just shady. But I mean, at least people got something back, but they were not made whole. And I guess the other side of that is, well, if crypto really collapsed even further, you could say, well, people came out ahead relative to what it was if the market was below that. Anyways, so that's what happened there. Anyways, so Do Kwon, yeah. Let's see. So it slipped. That was in May. Jane Street's response. So Jane Street's response to this is, this desperate suit is a transparent attempt to extract money when it is well established that the losses suffered by Terra and Luna holders were the result of a multi-billion-dollar fraud perpetrated by the management of Terraform Labs. Okay. Well, that isn't the first, because back in December 2025, Snyder, the Snyder's the guy in charge of the bankruptcy part of Terraform. The court appointed, what do they call him? The custodian?
Executor?
I forget the name. Something like that. I don't remember. Whatever. He's the dude in charge. He sued Jump Trading for $4 billion, alleging that Jump actively exploited Terra through a backdoor deal to inflate USD before it exploded, and that Jane Street was involved in that. So, anyways, that's what's happening there. And then yesterday, there's a huge recovery. Like everything bounced big time. Everything's still kind of relatively flat today. Down, like Ethereum's down 2%. But yeah, a lot of altcoins rallied. And if you looked at X, it was because, this is what people said. It was because Jane Street was responsible for something in crypto we all called like the 10 a.m. flush, or different versions of that. Every day at 10 a.m., crypto would flush, it would go down, and then it would recover. But for some reason yesterday, that didn't happen. And people are calling it because of Jane Street, and also because Jane Street's been deleting stuff on X. I have not checked that out myself, but that's what people have been saying on X.
I've been seeing a lot of things about people deleting stuff on X.
So back to Jane Street. So FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, and then his on again, off again girlfriend, Carolyn Ellison, who also worked at FTX. There's a lot of connection between FTX and Jane Street because Sam Bankman-Fried worked there from 2014 to 2017 as a full-time trader. And he is responsible for, this is, and I again, haven't done a lot of research into this, but he is allegedly responsible for Jane Street's biggest loss, a $300 million trade during Trump's first election, where apparently he was doing well. It was up 300 some million, and then Sam went to bed, shit the bed because he woke up and it was 300 million in the red. So, which is weird to me that he still had a job. Like, I don't know. I understand, like, some people say, don't fire people just because they've made a mistake because it's worth, like, watching to see how they recover after a mistake. I don't know where that line is, but I think somewhere between a few million and 300 million, that'd probably be my line where the person wouldn't be employed anymore, but that's just me. Maybe 300 million is not much to them. It's got to be, though.
Feels like a very large number. I feel like even $30 million, I don't think any of these firms would be thrilled about losing that.
Nope. Also, like, what was he doing? He, like, no stop? He'd go to bed that much exposed.
It just makes me question. It's like, if you couldn't be a successful trader at Jane Street, it's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go start my own company.
That's what Michael Lewis's biography, Going Infinite. Sam's argument that it was an insanely inefficient market in which they might use his Jane Street-like approach to extract billions. I don't know what I was saying there with the notes. Carolyn Ellison, she worked there. She was a former Jane Street employee. Gabe Bankman-Fried, Sam's brother, also worked at Jane Street and was running political donation organizations funded by SBF. These are the names. Guarding Against Pandemics and Building a Stronger Future. I get this. Guarding Against Pandemics. What a stupid name. All right. Then Brett Harrison, former president of FTX US, also ex-Jane Street. Lily Zhang, SBF's former romantic partner and Jane Street employee. She and Duncan Reinigan ran Modelo Capital, a hedge fund that received $400 million from Alameda Research. Alameda Research was the hedge fund that was also with them, which is so weird. All right, let's get into... Where is this at? So we went through the... Oh, yeah, this is the notes on the SBF built a system that called Trump's win before CNN, sometimes hours earlier. He bet several $1 billion against the S&P 500, expecting it to crash if Trump won. When Sam went to sleep, he was up almost $300 million by the morning. At a tanked $300 million profit became a $300 million loss. He told Michael Lewis, "I went from the most profitable single trade to worst trade in Jane Street history."
I actually remember that. He was elected. Everybody thought it'd be good for the market. The initial reaction was like this is back when 300-point move on the Dow was big. And I had a bunch of friends on the left that were basically saying, oh, look what everybody did. This is going down. And I was like, if you look at his policies, it's actually me very pro-market. So I wouldn't be selling everything just yet. And then, yeah, we had that like immediate rebound the next day and we were just off to the races.
Oh yeah, I was up all night. I was doing equity futures back then, and everything was limit down like all night long. It was just limit down, and then when it became clear that I can't remember if it was
because Brexit was going on at the same time, right?
Brexit was before that. That was wild. That was a wild time too.
Yeah,
then the market just like shot up like crazy after it was confirmed. That was a crazy time. Let's see. I was talking about, so there's this pattern of crypto activity. So crypto traders have been tracking recurring sell-off in Bitcoin that happens every day around 10 a.m. Eastern time, right around the U.S. stock market open, which is not true, but I get what my notes are saying. The theory is that Jane Street has been running a coordinated selling algorithm at that window. And the pattern emerged prominently in November of last year. Right after Bitcoin hit its all-time high on October 6th, it showed up, and it kept showing up in Q2 and Q3 of 2025, continued into early 2026. December 2025 charts, if you look at them, BTC dropping from 89.7 to 87.7 within minutes of 10 a.m., wiping out 171 million in long positions before recovering. And then Milk Road, this was their outline, which I thought was pretty good. They would say around 10 a.m. Eastern time, right as the U.S. stock market opens, large sell volumes hit Bitcoin and related ETF shares. They're talking specifically, I don't know if I wrote it in my notes, but they're talking specifically about IBIT because they are, Jane Street is one of the, I forget what the name is, like the authorized people to do stuff in that.
Oh, yeah.
Tip of my tongue. Shit. Anyways.
Shit.
So they would do that. And then Milk Road stressed that, actually, I think this is the note for me to stress what they stressed. To be clear, these are unverified rumors just circulating in the community. Oh, yeah. They're an authorized participant in BlackRock's IBIT. So as an authorized participant, Jane Street can create and redeem ETF shares, effectively selling Bitcoin exposure into the market at scale via the ETF mechanism. This guy, Bull Theory on X, this was his, I thought he had a good take. Jane Street bought 7.1 million IBIT shares worth $276 billion in Q4 2025. They now hold 20.3 million shares worth $790 million. This is the same entity rumored to be behind the daily 10 a.m. Manipulation. The alleged play is that they would sell the Bitcoin ETF shares at 10 a.m., depress price, trigger leveraged positions across the perp DEX environment, the decentralized exchanges getting hit. And so this is part of the operation that's alleged that while allegedly suppressing BTC's price via the ETF, Jane Street was simultaneously buying MSTR. So Jane Street boosted MSTR shares by 473%, their holdings by this is according to their Q4 2025 13F. Boosted MSTR shares by 473%, now holding 951,187 shares worth $121 million.
So question for you. So when you talk about like the GLD, SLV, those typically when they see massive inflows, there's like almost like a quarterly, it's valued on the actual assets within GLD and SLV, like these vaults where they hold all this. Now with IBIT,
apparently,
isn't IBIT more like it has this much Bitcoin, so then based on the price, it moves. So selling the ETF isn't like selling Bitcoin. Wouldn't it make more sense for Jane Street to dump a ton of Bitcoin to cause the price of IBIT to go down? How are they doing that? Like if IBIT's going down, why would Bitcoin matter?
Well, I forget what they call it. It's like with ETFs, like the efficiency market something. I mean, you can go to like Arkham Intelligence. They're an on-chain analytics firm, and you can monitor like the IBIT wallets, Bitcoin wallets live. I mean, all the time there's like, these amounts moving in, moving out, and you can monitor the inflows, outflows into the ETF live. How much of that is correlated live with actual ETF buying and selling activity? I'm not sure, and also I'm not sure like what the rules are on how they settle it and balance it at the end of the day, or if they need to. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know how that has like an immediate impact on the price of Bitcoin. Like I get the whole liquidation thing, like if they get it going down, but I don't think anybody's like levered IBIT.
So, well, speaking of leverage, MSTR for Jane Street, this is the alleged theory that MSTR functions as a leveraged Bitcoin proxy play. It holds 717,000 Bitcoin. Suppress Bitcoin price, then MSTR gets cheaper. Bitcoin recovers. MicroStrategy's rips even harder due to the leverage. Basically, depress Bitcoin via daily ETF selling, accumulate the leveraged proxy on the cheap. Profit when suppression ends. You win on both directions.
Got it.
That's the theory.
So I guess being in the inner workings of how IBIT actually works would really benefit them in this scenario if it's all true. But it's also shady knowing, because there was, so MicroStrategy used to have like that. It was directly correlated with Bitcoin for a long time. Then you got to the point where Bitcoin would be down 5%, it'd be down 12%. Bitcoin would be up 1%, they'd still be down 2%. Like they just kept losing like that overall. Yeah.
I've always thought that MicroStrategies, like, if moves more like an altcoin. Like when the whole market's doing well, you'll have a lot of altcoins that are outperforming Bitcoin in the short term. And then the inverse is true when it's going bad. When Bitcoin's going down, MicroStrategy goes down worse.
Yeah, because
but here's this
MicroStrategy, Robinhood, Coinbase, they all had like that, 0.94, 0.96 beta. And then out of nowhere, like Coinbase and Robinhood have kind of maintained that. But MicroStrategy just seems like completely erratic.
Like we were saying before, like last week, a couple of weeks ago, my brain can't wrap around the idea of holding. If the intention is to hold Bitcoin, I don't understand why you'd want to hold strategy.
Oh yeah,
I just
I mean, we could have that conversation over and over. I'll never understand.
This is interesting. I wrote on here in my notes. Mike Alford came. This is unverified. But I included it because it's trending. Investor Mike Alford posted this on X. He says, I got off the phone with a friend who works at Jane Street. He said they were ordered to stop manipulating the Bitcoin price last night. This is on the 23rd. His team disabled the algorithm at 10 a.m. on the 24th. Alfred added, he thinks Bitcoin probably goes up now.
This dude always has some secret phone call with some secret big name at some big company. I mean, give me a fucking break. You are so full of shit. You are always on the phone with the most important people in the world. Like, dude, I don't care.
Dear listeners, watchers, I might have just added that post in there because I know Joy's dunked on this dude before, not because it was.
I just so like when Iron the
let's see if there was anything else on here. So yeah, the Jane Street thing. It's gonna be interesting to see what comes out because Jane Street with the whole collapse of Tether or not Tether, UST. I remember also that the drop occurred when Do Kwon was on an airplane. So when Do Kwon was disconnected from everything, I think he was traveling. I don't remember where he's traveling from, but he was over the ocean, didn't have access to the internet. And so when all this shit hit the fan, the guy who held a lot of the keys and authorization to do things was not able to be reached, but people knew that he was going to be up in the air. So there was all sorts of shady stuff that went on. Thanks everybody for watching. And next week is going to be a special one. I'm interviewing. I don't think I can say, oh man, it does sound shitty whenever I hear people say, oh, you're going to have to see next week somebody special who I'm not going to disclose. It does sound dickish when I say it like that. Yeah. But the person is a pretty big deal in the crypto space. Specifically, I would say like in the real world asset space. Very pumped to talk to him. And, I just said him. I guess
is it Barclay Roush?
Some of the people on the planet. Not Barclay Roush. Couldn't talk to that guy. He's too important.
Yeah.
But anyways, that does it for me. Thanks, Joey. Thanks for everybody. See you next week.